be checking out the worst natural disaster in Canadian history. And these are going to be the final days, which was apparently the worst days of the ice storm. I did do a part 1 of this, which was day 1, day 2, and day 3. You can find that video on the channel if you want to check that out. But yeah, let's take a look at the worst days.
The signs of another bad day came early this morning. The skies rumbled with thunder and then opened up yet again with freezing rain. The fourth straight day.
Look at that.
Day 4. The worst day yet.
The worst day. Look at that.
I'm very tired.
Oh.
By late tonight, millions of Quebecers will be out of power.
Power is still coming in, but we do not have any backup anymore, so we are in a fragile situation at this moment.
No backup?
More fragile than we knew.
Look at that.
A few days later, the Premier would admit we came close to disaster that Friday.
Millions of people without power, and this is day 4.
5 lines supply power to Montreal. Only one was still working.
Oh, really?
Hydro-Quebec desperately tried to calm fears at this press conference. The power went out. The reality is, by the end...
Yo, that's not a good sign, man. When the peoples try to calm you down about the power going out and the power goes out, we're there, right?
End of the day, 3 million Quebecers were still in the dark.
Wow, 3 million.
The Rougemont area is an icy wasteland. The ice is relentless. It covers everything, including the many high-voltage lines that have fallen around here.
The city of Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu is trapped in ice.
Look at
powerless
that.
for 4 days now. Damage everywhere.
This town is at the heart of the Triangle of Darkness.
All you see in these is just a white blanket.
Region southeast of Montreal, where there is virtually no power and no hope of getting any soon.
Aww.
The buildup of ice here is staggering.
It's hard to imagine just how much ice they got here around Rougemont. Take a look at this bush. Look at the thickness of ice compared to my hand.
Getting any supplies to the South Shore was difficult. Late in the afternoon, the bridges closed. Ice was falling from the superstructures.
Oh yeah, like just think about driving. Like when you're driving, you're just gonna be like skidding everywhere.
It's the hard way that Montreal subway trains run on electricity.
For the first time in 30 years, all the metro lines stopped working.
In neighborhood after neighborhood, there is simply no electricity, forcing many residents here to evacuate until power can be restored.
It genuinely does. Like it genuinely does just remind me of an apocalypse. Like that's what you guys, or like for the people that was living through this. This was only what 20-something years ago, so the people that are living through this, you genuinely survived in a smallish apocalypse.
Utility companies say it could take weeks before repairs are made.
Oh, weeks?
1 million homes and 3 million people are now without electricity.
I thought it was gonna be days.
The military has been called out to help. The storm is expected to move out to sea tonight, but forecasters say it will be followed by a major snowstorm.
Really?
Bill Rediker, ABC News, Montreal.
With this severe of an ice storm, the coating of ice that disabled much of the man-made infrastructure also takes a huge toll on nature. A single 50-foot conifer will accumulate as much as 45 tons of ice.
Wait, I didn't even think about that. Like the birds, the squirrels, the animals, the wildlife. Oh man, their homes, like, jeez.
During a prolonged period of freezing rain,
what did they do?
Many trees won't survive this extra weight.
As ice starts to glaze on trees and power lines, it doesn't look like it weighs that much. Don't be fooled, it does. Get this, 1 inch of ice thickness per 1 foot weighs 7 pounds.
Wow.
Not only were they down, they looked like they'd been just exploded.
When they hit the ground, they would shatter.
I heard a crack, and right as I looked up, that part of the tree was coming down at me, so I dove out of the way.
See, I didn't realize how heavy that would actually be on the tree.
I screamed so loud in my life.
Desolation all over the city. The trees, ecological disaster for Montreal.
By the end of day 4, Montreal is weary. The sheer weight of the ice from this storm is crushing the remaining cables and utility poles.
Jeez.
Forecasters are saying the end may be in sight, but clearly it's been getting worse before it gets better. Much of eastern Ontario, Quebec, and the Maritimes are affected, but nowhere is it bleaker tonight than right here in Montreal.
One of the worst places to be in Canada today was downtown Montreal. Till now,
oh no, I would not want to be driving there. Not a chance.
It had been almost untouched by the catastrophic blackouts, but tonight it too was hit.
This is the view from Montreal's Lookout, a city in the depth of darkness.
Wow.
After the most difficult day of this crisis so far.
I figured it's a total blackout because if downtown has no light, there's probably none at all in my area.
Oh my God, Jen, no traffic lights. Oh, no. Nah. Do you know how dangerous this will be?
1.3 million customers of hydro. That means there are more than 3 million Quebecers who still tonight have no power. These 4 days have been a constant battle against the force of nature, and where it could be weeks before power is restored.
Oh my
Tonight,
God.
Montreal is a city marked by great swaths of darkness, with the odd island of light.
Tom, it has been an incredible evening here on the island of Montreal. With each passing hour, more bad news coming. What's the latest?
Well, the big development...
Like, genuinely, I actually feel like right now that this is an intro to like an end of a world type of like movie.
Development on the island of Montreal is that one of the two plants that supply water to the millions of people who live here, one of those two plants is down. It is not functioning.
Oh,
One
really?
of two main water treatment facilities servicing 15 municipalities has gone down.
So on top of all of the misery, the blackout, the cold houses, no heat, and this has been going on for 4 days, on top of that, there's a large chunk of the population of Montreal tonight that does not even have water. The situation in this city tonight is really, truly desperate.
I guess if there's any good news at this moment, it's
No electric, struggling for like warmth and that. No water either.
what's falling in front of you there. It's snow, and that means it's not freezing rain, but it also means it's getting colder, and that brings with it its own dangers. Tom Kennedy reporting to us tonight from the streets of Montreal.
This is a nightmare.
The people of Montreal have been taking everything this storm could throw at them, and they have persevered.
Well, I think Montrealers, I think they're hardy by nature, and I think that basically they're going to cope with this, and they've coped with other things.
At the Westin Hotel on the dark side of Sherbrooke Street, hotel employees guided guests to their rooms and the hotel's restaurant, where a cold buffet and some hot music kept up their spirits.
Yeah, I'm very, very, like, this is good that they try to keep the vibes up. I'm very interested to see, like, what would he even eat in? Like, you can't cook anything, so what, just cold, like, sandwiches and stuff like that? Like, and then, like, the meats, and, like, you don't have fridges or freezers, so, like, what do you even put in a sandwich? Because it would have gone off.
Basically, we want to keep people busy.
Oh, wait, but the whole entire area's really cold, so maybe it wouldn't have gone off. Because, like, the house is a fridge.
Their mind, because everyone is fairly stressed.
In the shelter I visited today, I found people in remarkably good spirits, remarkably grateful to and patient with the people who are helping them.
Things are bound to get better because right now many are saying they just can't get much worse.
They're tough.
Then we lost power for more than half of the province.
The ice formed by freezing rain is the toughest ice on Earth.
The main reason for that is there's very few air bubbles in the water droplet.
The storm has now laid down a solid pack of ice of over 4 inches deep, thicker than a sidewalk slab, and just as strong. Once the ice layers reach over 4 inches deep, their sheer weight threatens every major structure. And there's nothing more important to a city in crisis than the giant steel transmission towers that bring its power.
So that's what they're doing to maintain it. They're trying to chop the ice because if it gets too heavy, it will just destroy it.
The freezing rain has spread over an area of 70,000 square miles, taking out towers across the entire region.
Jeez.
Montreal sits on an island connected to the outside world by bridges and tunnels. It receives its power by highly vulnerable...
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know Montreal sits on an island.
...power lines. The city relies almost exclusively on hydroelectric power, generated
See, I'm interested. You know, when it comes to like power lines and that, do they not get warm? Like, would it not melt the ice off them? I assume obviously they don't get warm. I thought they would get warmish, like from the inside.
The last line to the north of the city is groaning under the extreme weight of ice, and one ice-laden line hangs on to the east. Each cable is now carrying weight over 10 times its design load.
Wow.
The equivalent to a person hanging on every 10 feet.
Jeez. Like, you genuinely don't realize, well, I definitely didn't realize how heavy it actually be on there.
Montreal's only remaining lifelines are at the breaking point. Now the giant towers that have held out against the ice face their final test.
At the end of the day, on last Thursday, we really thought that we might leave Montreal, that might have a total blackout in the Montreal area. It was something like a disaster.
Wow.
Only one line. The line was watched by all people.
Like, if you was to tell me ice alone would literally tumble this, where's it gone?
Montreal, that might have a total blackout in the Montreal area. It was something like a disaster. Only one.
If you were to tell me ice would do this, I won't believe you. Like, I never would I believe you.
The line was watched by all people the whole night.
In a last desperate bid to save the only power line left, the energy companies literally take matters into their own hands, smashing it off by hand.
A delicate operation to de-ice the line. The strategy? A crew hovering in an armed forces helicopter, dropping logs on the line to knock the ice off.
Okay, overshooting. We're close to maximum now.
Unconventional, unprecedented, but it worked.
Wow!
As the sun rises, Montreal breathes.
Hey, yo, listen, if you find out in the news that the electric companies is a military helicopter dropping logs on the line to try and save it, you'd be thinking, what did they do it? But it worked. You'd be thinking, oh, we're going to be in a blackout for years.
A collective sigh of relief.
Well, not
the
that
remaining
long, but...
power lines were saved.
Wow.
And much needed power slowly returns to the city.
That actually
Ron,
worked.
can you give us the good news we've been waiting for?
Deborah, there is good news tonight, dear friends.
Oh, just think, like, when power comes back, the amount of hot meals and the fireplaces that will be on that day. Oh, man. That would feel like that meal would feel even better.
At home, we can tell you we can now bring closure to the worst ice storm on record.
Yeah, this is
changeover has
crazy.
taken place. We've got light flurries falling in the greater Montreal area. As for ice, forget it.
Wow.
After the big freeze, the big thaw.
Huh?
Ahead,
this
the
is day
long
5.
process of recovery and cleaning up. This window of decent weather may be very small. It's supposed to get colder and colder over the next few days. So you can imagine what went on here today, a huge effort to make the most of this opportunity.
Oh, wait, what? Is this like a break? What? Does it get worse after this? Like the cleanup?
To get ice off bridges, to clear debris off the streets.
They're working
Most
hard.
of all, to restore power to the city of Montreal.
Right.
This was an uneasy calm after the storm. Downtown Montreal, much of it still without power, was turned into a massive pedestrian mall. Dozens of streets were closed, too dangerous to pass. Ice, huge chunks of it, continued to rain down from above. Despite the break in the weather, life has not returned to normal, far from it. Montrealers were told not to drink the tap water. That prompted a rush on bottled water. This store was cleaned out.
Jeez.
Even one of the proudest symbols of the city, hockey's Montreal Canadiens, couldn't escape the effects of the storm. Their game against New York tonight was postponed.
On the first day of relief from the onslaught of ice pellets, there was still shell shock from the ravages of the ice war.
This looks like worse than any hurricane I've ever seen. I mean, the West Island, I thought where we are was pretty bad, but
the damage is crazy.
This is incredible. This is devastation.
I was in Winnipeg yesterday. It's the first time in my life I wish I stayed in Winnipeg.
People start to venture out, inspecting the damage and telling stories of another harrowing night.
I can't believe it. This is the first time I've seen it. It's really sad.
feel bad for a lot of these people.
Wow.
You know, it's like a war zone, you know? It's just, I can't get over how bad it was.
And as the power crews begin to get backup, they also begin to get almost unbelievable estimates about outages. Nearly 200,000 customers out in Vermont and northern New York. More than 500,000 people.
Wait, so people, did he say in Vermont and New York people lost power too?
Unbelievable estimates about outages. Nearly 200,000 customers out in Vermont and northern New York.
In northern New York and Vermont, people lost power too.
More than 500,000 people.
Wow.
NYMO says, get this, 99% of its customers are without power.
That's in the northern part of New York. That's unbelievable.
I've never seen an ice storm of this nature. You go through even the main streets. Forget about the back streets, and you see the trees and the power lines down, and you just realize that this is something that's going to take quite some time to get over.
In Kingston, close to 75% of the area remains in the dark. That's because Ontario's Hydro's 2 main lines are down.
Mid-morning, an unprecedented step. I am declaring, as of 10 a.m. this morning, a state of emergency in Ottawa-Carleton.
The scope of this disaster is hard to take in, especially in the area that took the biggest hit, Montreal's South Shore. No one has escaped. Nearly every household, every business is blacked out in a string of cities and towns that have become known as the Triangle of Darkness.
You can see what happened right here. Even small wires became like thick, heavy cables of ice. In some of the
I genuinely thought that was a tube. I thought, bro, that is a ice casing for one wire.
Areas around here, which is just south of Montreal, the whole distribution system has collapsed, and it could take weeks to get it back to normal.
We met up with this convoy of linemen who drove to the South Shore all the way from Long Island, New York. They worked for a Connecticut-based power utility, and to our surprise, most were of French-Canadian heritage.
I'm originally Stansted, Quebec.
And what's your name, sir?
Remy Perrault.
Another francophone.
Yeah, we're working in down New York right now, but we came up here to help everybody.
CTV's Genevieve Bushman and her camera operator were reporting on the storm on the outskirts of Montreal in an area that is particularly hard hit.
Look at that.
The hydro tower came crumbling to the ground, buckling under the staggering weight of the ice. The tower brought with it power lines attached to the massive steel structure.
Wow.
The CTV crew was trapped, wires surrounding them on all sides. And you were trapped there for how long?
Well, we were trapped there for several hours, actually. There was these massive high-tension wires around us, so we didn't know whether we could move at all.
As we've heard...
Oh, wait. So they could, like, go under or over it, but they didn't know, like, how dangerous it was, so they wanted to find out.
People are dying and collapsing from...
We didn't know whether we could move at all.
As we've heard, people are dying and collapsing from use of barbecues, propane, and other heaters inside their powerless homes. And they're ignoring warnings about touching wires or cutting trees down. With the power out, it's more a question of not hearing the warning in the first place.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. How are they gonna hear the warning? What warning? Like, they're on their own. They've got no power, no nothing. Like...
35 people died in this disaster, and 500,000 people were forced from their homes. In the end, it left $5 billion in damage.
500,000 forced out of their homes.
Oh. Hi, I'm home. I have power.
Oh, I feel really great to be home. Finally, progress. Emerging from darkness, the lights are coming back on.
After what was quite literally the darkest weekend in Montreal's modern history, at last there was light. By daybreak, power was back in the downtown core. Regular business was not.
Downtown officials say the roof of the Eaton Centre is in danger of collapsing under pressure from thick ice in Montreal. There had been an earlier report that the roof had collapsed, and 100 people taking shelter in the complex had to evacuate.
Electric utility workers from across North America, the Army, and just about anyone who could lend a hand was trying to get the lights back on and clean up the mess. One of the first things to do was to get rid of the tons of ice. There were some unique ways of doing it, like the team of police sharpshooters getting the ice off a communications antenna.
Wait.
In Montreal.
Wait, what do you mean sharpshoot? Was they shooting it?
Most people will have electricity in a day or two.
No way.
Here on the South Shore, Hundreds of thousands of people will stay in the dark for 2 more weeks.
This crew is one of about 10 working in the area of Saint-Hyacinthe, a city with no power for a week. The men are working from 12 to 18 hours a day. The pylons are taking shape quickly. Cable lies waiting to be strung, but it takes time. The lines here will not be up, the foreman says, before next week.
And as temperatures plunged to -20, a major operation was underway to convince people without power to leave their homes.
After about a week or so, 8 days, I couldn't stay in my apartment anymore because it was way too cold. I realized when I stepped out of the apartment, it was an old 4-story building built in the 20s. The hallway was totally dark. I realized that everybody was out of the building. I was the last one to leave.
As night falls, the temperature drops. Wind chills tonight will hit -30.
Terrifying.
Coldest since this crisis began more than a week ago. Firewood and other supplies are pouring in from other parts of Quebec, Canada, and the United States.
We're coming out of Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, to be fair, that's the only thing that's going to keep them warm is the firewood.
And we're bringing the beds and the tents for the people to sleep in.
Back to basics.
My dispatcher called me and said, well, we got an emergency. We got people up there in Canada that's sleeping outside in these beds. And I told him, I said, well, I'll be in.
What a
This
legend,
storm
bro.
is more than just freezing rain and downed power lines.
It does go to show that like people genuinely do come together in times of need like this. And it is nice. Obviously, it's a horrible situation, but it's nice to see.
It's also people coming together to help.
Yeah,
Neighbors
what I just said.
helping neighbors.
Yeah, love it.
People volunteering for countless hours in shelters. And the kindness of strangers.
The guy that came around the corner and hooked me back up to the electricity came in a truck that had a Massachusetts license plate on it. Oh, yeah. And this kid looked like Adonis, the Greek god of electricity hooking up, you know? I was never happier in my life.
And more signs things were getting back to normal. Schools started reopening.
Did you enjoy your extended Christmas holiday? You did?
Of course the kids are going to say they enjoyed it, bro. They probably didn't even realize the actual danger to it.
You enjoyed being home without power?
And everyone had a special story to tell about his or her extra long vacation.
I had an oven stove.
You have an oven stove?
Yeah.
What's an oven stove?
I mean a wood stove.
A wood stove.
In the fridge, some of our things went bad, but we're still okay, and my mom now is like going for groceries today.
You wonder exactly how we survived that devastating ice storm of '98? Just look to your neighbors.
Everybody was...
A big thank you, West Chazzy Fire Department. Aww. With help from the ice storm.
In it together. You were without power, so were 20,000 other people right around us and didn't have it any worse than anybody else. But you helped your neighbor, and your neighbor helped you.
That's
Adversity somehow has brought out the best in people.
I think it's everybody's working together and enjoying it.
It's made people far more human and realize that what we can do for each other.
It does make you realize, like, all of these other things and problems around you really aren't actually a problem until you're into a place like this. Like, until you're in a situation where nothing matters other than the people around you, you actually see beauty in people.
A little laugh there.
Unfortunately, it takes a devastating disaster for that to happen, but yeah.
To lighten things up.
Considering the time that we're all facing right now, it's been very stressful for our family and for a lot of people around here, so it's definitely very uplifting.
Show you that people care.
Right.
You know? They really do care.
I've actually been helping out today, so it's given me something to do.
Now, could I judge by your accent that you may never have seen anything like this before?
No, we're from England, so we've only been here a year, so we're...
Wow, she went from England to here and in a year experienced this? We aren't prepared for stuff like this.
Still coping with the Canadian weather, let alone this, so...
Well, you only see this once in a lifetime, they say,
yes,
such as this.
Yes.
Jeez.
What were some of the lessons learned from this? You mentioned generators. I think a lot more people prepared.
And
farms have generators now.
Well, there are probably lessons learned, but it's going to be so long before something like this happens again. We'll probably have to learn all over again.
Yeah.
Mother Nature
Like, I assume they are right with saying like it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Like, but then again, it is smart to stock up because you never know. Like, be prepared, right? You don't know what's gonna hit you, especially when you live in an extreme country. Like when it comes to weather, like Canada. Like in the UK, we have very mild weather, so we gotta worry less about things like this. But yeah,
reminded us that she can still wreak havoc with our high-tech modern way of life.
Stay stocked up
with almost no warning, in a way we almost never expected. We also learned that here in Quebec, more people heat with electricity than in just about any other part of the world. But what we should really remember is how much we depended on our friends and our neighbors,
for sure,
on strangers from nearby and from far away.
You know, from a meteorologist's point of view, this was certainly the most interesting thing I've ever seen. I mean, it was mind-boggling what was going on.
As far as I'm concerned, it's definitely the biggest weather-related thing I've ever covered in my life.
And no doubt, most of us who lived through it will never forget the ice storm of '98.
Oh, no, yeah, I bet.
Was said to be the warmest year on record. In fact, since records were...
See, I thought COVID was bad, and COVID was bad. But this is a whole different level of being like locked down and locked in.
Kept at all.
A lot of folks think that the ice storm in '98 was a once-in-a-lifetime event. But the reality is it will happen again.
Milder winters may mean the conditions to create the perfect ice storm.
But then again, COVID wasn't weather, so it's two completely different things. Because when you do look at it, like COVID was bad in the terms of like people getting ill and dying.
Could be just around the corner.
Jeez. This weather's insane though. Montreal.
Montreal's one to watch. CFCM.
Hey up, we're tuned into the station. Oh, okay. It's done right. There we go. Yeah, but yo, absolutely crazy video. The ice storm of 1998. Couldn't believe some of the things I was even seeing. Just the weather is just so extreme. That was nuts. Like, for me as a British person, we'll probably never see anything like that. But if you guys did enjoy this, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you did enjoy, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.